Gentlemen, in this video we have modded the game so that every lap the circuit layout will be randomized. Each sector of the track will be modified, and on the last lap the whole circuit will have a new layout. Will the AI be able to handle these new track changes? We're about to find out.
You already know what time it is. We're going to spin the wheel for the first lap of the race and find out what changes we're going to be making to the circuit. And it does look like for the first of 3 races, as we're starting in Belgium, we're going to be adjusting the track layout for Sector 2. You thought this game was dead, but I just keep coming back for more, as we have 5 red lights before we start the Belgian Grand Prix, and away we go. And we got off to a decent start. We're going to start pulling alongside Stroll and Sargent, and that's going to bring us all the way up to P15. Oh, they've already taken me. Hey guys, welcome back to the Belgian Grand Prix, where simulation damage is enabled. But at least it wasn't the 2014 Caterham that rear-ended me this time. Anyways, up Eau Rouge for the first time. No changes to Sector 1 for now, as we're driving as Leclerc, the man on the front row for the Bahrain Grand Prix. But we're about to enter Sector 2, and what horrors await us there, I don't know just yet, as we're looking to make the move on Piastri, as we're gonna just cut across. We're just gonna cut across the grass here, and that's the new track layout. I'm just gonna follow the AI in this one because I haven't really tested this and I haven't made a mod like this before either. So we're gonna follow our teammate Science, who should be Hamilton really, but don't worry, this is an alternate universe where apparently we're using this other track layout as well, as we managed to pick up a couple of positions there. Looks like the AI aren't as strong, as I guess they haven't had the practice for this new track layout, as we're following Alonso now. And the good news for Alonso is at least his steering wheel hasn't popped off yet in this race. But you do have to admit, Alonso has had a lot of bad luck at the start of this season. Alright, then heading through Sector 3 to close out this lap, we're going to see if we can pick off Alonso, as the AI are typically not as quick through Sector 3 because they burn all their battery in Sector 1 and Sector 2 with their battery deployment. But Alonso is actually keeping his distance, and if anything, Ricciardo is hassling us. But under braking here, we just make up so much ground, and we do look around the outside of Alonso, but there's nothing going to happen there. And we're about to start lap 2. It is time to spin the wheel once again and find out what changes we're going to be making to the circuit, and it looks like it's going to slow down on Sector 1. There's going to be modifications to Rouge and Raidillon with the addition of Sector 2's changes as well. DRS has been enabled to add on top of all the changes we're already making, and Ricciardo looking to make a move around the outside as we head into turn 1. Going down the hill now to find out what changes await us once we start climbing up a Rouge and Raidillon, and you can see the AI in the distance. They're cutting across the grass and straight lining the whole of the track pretty much. And we make a bit of ground on Alonso here, so we might be able to use DRS to try and make a pass. Not really sure what the AI is doing there on the straight. They seem to be snaking around a little bit as we head into what would be a bigger braking zone, but we cut across the entire track here, and we're going to try and take a better line than Alonso did, and that gives us the position, so we're making full use of the new track changes. And now we're going to close up onto the back of Tsunoda, and maybe we can pick him off as we take this other left-hander through the other track layout, and we just get a way better drive than both Tsunoda and Hamilton, and that is us up into P8 as we have Magnussen now in front of us. We have another full lap with these changes to complete as well, so I'm thinking maybe we can target a podium here as long as we keep in touch with Magnussen. We have a lot more battery to use for this Sector 3 than we did last time. We didn't really manage it well on lap 1. So let's see how we do going through the back straight, and maybe we can pull off a move going into the bus stop chicane. We have used up a fair bit of our battery, but we're just not in striking distance of Magnussen as of yet. But we are making decent progress so far. No need to stress out just yet because we have a whole nother lap of opportunity coming up ahead. Max Verstappen takes the fastest lap of the race for lap 2, and for lap 3 it's obviously going to be Sector 3 that we're going to be changing to complete all 3 sectors and have a completely new track layout. So we'll find out very shortly what those changes are going to be. Here we go, final lap and everything to do. Forget about Verstappen getting the fastest lap because somehow we've managed to. And also, if you're interested in trying this out for yourself, all my mods are available to YouTube channel members, so be sure to become a member if you would like to try this one out. As Hamilton's actually going to attack us going up, I would say a Rouge, but it isn't anymore really, is it? We've created our own monstrosity. and Magnussen's actually gotten a little bit further away, so we need to catch back up to him. Luckily, still within the DRS, so that's going to help us out a little bit as well. Preparing to go through the changes we made for Sector 2 now, and we've become essentially really expensive lawnmowers, but this gives us the opportunity to look at Magnussen again, and we just weren't close enough to do anything about it, similar to the way we did with Alonso. But the AI are weak in the corner. That replaces the Jackie X or the no-name corner, and that's going to give us the opportunity we needed. And we're going to get Russell as well, and that's going to promote us all the way up to P6. Maybe we can get Gasly as well. Gasly's on a roll at the moment with his performance in Bahrain. He actually qualified P5 before he got promoted up to P4 because of those penalties. The cars are on equal performance, by the way. That's why the grid is so mixed up. Okay, entering Sector 3 now. We're about to find out what changes are headed our way, as Russell is also pressuring us, only 2 tenths behind, so we have to use the remainder of our battery, as we only have like 10% left at the moment. Gasly in front of us still, and we've got a battle up ahead, and they've all cut the grass. I'm going to follow them. Oh no, there's absolute chaos everywhere as we hit one of the pit boards and jump back onto the track, go around the outside of Verstappen, and that's going to bring us up into P3 as we come across the line.
Checkered flag.
Oh, okay, I did not expect that.
I don't know what that team radio was. I never heard that lady that said checkered flag ever before in this game, so that's new to me. And it was pretty cool to see all the AI jumping back onto the track. But that's only race 1. We've got Monza coming up next, and you can already imagine the track layouts that we're going to be using for this track. And to kick things off, it looks like we're going to be changing Sector 1. And I can already tell that you know what changes we're going to make. You already know what it's going to be. Here we are then in Italy. We're going to drive as Pierre Gasly in the Alpine after his stonking performance in the Bahrain GP, and we are underway. We've already picked up a position on Ricciardo, looking to make the move on Joe now, and we're going to head down to turn 1, which is non-existent anymore because it's going to be a straight line through the chicane as we follow all the AI, and we're being brought to a dead stop. The AI has crashed everywhere. Piastri's out of the race. I have no idea what's going on. Sargent's also out of the race, but that's to be expected. Hey guys, welcome back to the Italian Grand Prix, where track limits are just a suggestion. I just punched a hole through the polystyrene board bigger than Sainz's side pod after the Bahrain GP. And now we have Sargent up ahead. Let's see if we can put him back into retirement as I crash. Alrighty then, it's been a pretty uneventful start to the race. I wouldn't say it's as uneventful as Japan, but even still, lucky to get through there. Absolutely no mistakes so far. Seeing as we're driving the Alpine, let's see if we can go and catch up to Verstappen. It seemed like Verstappen was having a really enjoyable time driving throughout the Bahrain GP. Here we go then through a scary chicane, and I cut that corner just like an onion because it was enough to make everyone cry. Into Parabolica now, Magnussen ahead. We seem to be hanging around Magnussen a lot throughout these races, it is to be said. Lando Norris with the fastest lap of the race. That isn't very realistic, I must say. But we're now spinning the wheel for lap 2 of this race, and we're going to find out what we're going to be changing next. And it looks like it's going to be landing on Sector 3. So that means we're probably going to get changes to the Ascari chicane. DRS is enabled for this lap, and I wonder if we can still use DRS as we cut through the first chicane, because we'll never actually touch the brakes, and usually it stops deploying DRS when you touch the brakes as we inhale all the dust from the car in front, because the only time that part of the track gets used is when Sebastian Vettel drives through it. But anyway, catching up to the back of Magnussen now. It seems like the AI are pretty weak through the chicanes. They seem to give each other the Constantino effect, which slows each other down. But that's all to our benefit, because now we have DRS on the cars in front, and we should be able to get into this battle. Coming into Sector 3, where the track layout changes, and we've just dive bombed everyone as we all cut the chicane, and everyone is just straight lining through the entire of Ascari chicane and jumping back onto the track. Is that? Nah, it's not Verstappen, it's Perez up in front. And we've been had by Sainz, so we're going to try and get that position back coming down the pit straight, as we'll have DRS, and we'll see if Sainz puts up as much of a fight as he did against Hamilton in the Bahrain Grand Prix. That is actually our teammate of all people coming into the pits of Ocon. At least he made it further than turn 3 this time before beating it. Spinning the wheel one more time for this race, and of course it's going to land on Sector 2, so that all 3 sectors are going to be a new track layout. We're back to pursuing Sainz, and we're still in 15th place, so we've got some work to do. Now 16th, Zhou has just made a mockery of us, and we're kind of running low on battery. It's actually hard to earn back any battery when there's not many braking zones left on this track. But let's see what we can do against Zhou. Looks like he's going to leave the door open for us, so we're going to go down the inside, But we do have the changes coming up. Oh my god, so everyone is cutting the second chicane, but they've taken it pretty slow, so that's earned us a few positions. Hulkenberg and Albon up ahead. No need to stress about Hulkenberg because he will be disqualified. We have the DRS, but just no battery to fight, and Perez is all over the back of us as we almost run into the back of Albon as well. The two Aston Martins jumping back onto the track in front of us. Stroll in P10. Alonso in P9, he would be dreaming of scoring points in that tractor as Hulkenberg is pressuring us heading into Parabolica, but we defend the inside and it looks like we're going to be able to hold off Hulkenberg to come home in P11. Lando Norris wins another race, which is very suspect.
Yeah, we're absolutely nowhere. I don't get it.
Damn, Gasly has one good race and he expects me to try and score a podium or something. Here we go now for the Singapore Grand Prix. We're about to find out what sector we're going to be changing for the first lap of this race. And of course, we're going to be starting from the back of the grid again, and it looks like we're going to be changing Sector 3 first. On the grid now at the back, and we've got the usual suspects to accompany us at the back of the grid as well, but it's 5 red lights and away we go. And we've had a better start than Sargent, that's for sure, as we pull alongside, and Sainz off to a pretty poor start as well. Everyone's driving pretty sensible so far and giving the respect through turns 1 and turns 2, because it doesn't seem like there's any contact or damage so far with the AI, as we've got 3 wide in front of us. I don't know how that's going to work with Tsunoda, Ocon, and Hulkenberg. What an interesting bunch that is, as Ocon has to yield, and that's going to give us the opportunity to go up into 16th place. Still not too much carnage as of yet, but don't worry, there's still plenty of time for things to kick off as we enter Sector 3. Where the track changes will be. At least for this race, we don't have any chance of setting the grass on fire because it's a street circuit. But here we go then into the track changes where the AI are taking it nice and slow. And I know this isn't Sector 3, but this is the closest thing I could get to a Sector 3 change. I'm sorry we can't go back to the original layout with this mod, so this is the best I could do for now. But anyways, we made up a few positions all the way up to P14 now with Tsunoda in front. And also, if you're looking to buy F1 25, seeing as we're nearing the end of the F1 24 life cycle, be sure to use discount code iContrast for 15% off the iconic edition of F1 25, as we're pulling alongside Tsunoda now, going around the outside, and it looks, never mind, we're not going to make the move. Tsunoda holds on, and it looks like we're going to have to yield in behind him as we head on to lap 2. And make your prediction now with what you think it's going to land on, but it looks like we're going to get Sector 1. And I have a feeling you can already guess what the changes are going to be in Sector 1. Back to attacking Tsunoda with DRS enabled this time, and looks like Hulkenberg's also interested in making a move on me, but here we have the changes for Sector 1. We're just going to cut turns 1 and 2 into 3 as we have Tsunoda still alongside us. And only Red Bull could score a double points finish for the first time in what feels like a century. And it's still lower than a regular Verstappen points haul. Also, if you have any ideas yourself about what mods I could add to the game, be sure to let me know in the comments section below, because I read all the comments. And there are some war crimes that are definitely committed in the comments section, but every so often there is some gems produced, and I will definitely consider those ideas. Here we go now for the Sector 3 changes, which is actually Sector 2, and we pick up the position on Gasly, and we go around the outside of Leclerc as well. Zhou up in P9, he'll be having a nosebleed, he's up that high. We don't have long now before we'll be starting the final lap of this video. And let's see if we can reproduce some Oscar Piastri magic and bring ourselves further up the order before the end of this race. We've also been caught slacking on the battery department because we've got no battery to use heading on to lap 3. Hopefully we can make a change to that. DRS is active, and we're going to spin the wheel once more, and of course it's going to be Sector 2, the actual Sector 2 this time. Because it's a totally different change to the one we've already seen. Here we go, the final opportunity to make up some positions as we have Leclerc and Hamilton battling right behind us as we cut turn 1 and turn 2, going around the outside of Zhou. Those white lines are pretty much as useless as the hard tires from the last race in real life. I don't know why they bothered marking the white lines for this track. And here we go then, the last change we made is a corner cut here, which is pretty small, but we still managed to make the move on Magnussen somehow, as he got caught off guard a little bit there. Ricardo up ahead, Bottas he'd be happy with the P6 if he manages to keep that position. But as you know, our other track layout changes are coming just up ahead, and this is a really good opportunity for me to make up some more positions as we get past Ricciardo and Albon around the outside. George Russell in front of us. Let's see if we can put some pressure on him like Lando Norris did at the end of the race. Hopefully he activates the DRS illegally again and gets disqualified, and we'll pick up an easy P4. But I don't think that's going to happen. And it seems, once again, we just don't have the battery to keep up with Russell coming towards the end of this race. It was a fun video to make this one, though. I thoroughly enjoyed all the new track layouts that we designed. Verstappen takes the win for Red Bull around Singapore. A very different result to what happened in Bahrain.
Recover back to the points. And yeah.
If you enjoyed any part of this video, it is mandatory to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you'd like to try out the mods for yourself, be sure to become a YouTube channel member. All my mods are available from my videos to YouTube channel members. This one was a tricky one to make, so I'd appreciate the like and subscribe. And I will see you all in a brand new video.